It's a pleasure on behalf of Indiaspora to spend a few minutes with you today to welcome Arun Kankani. MR shared with you just briefly how wonderful it is to see Indian Americans kind of rising when challenges unfold. And Arun, on behalf of Indiaspora, thank you for being here. Arun is Executive Vice President and really at the headquarters of Sewa International. And before we run a little video that Arun thought would be helpful for us to understand the magnitude and impact of their organization, I thought I would just share, interestingly, when Sewa International was founded in 2003, I was in the White House working on federal aid to reach disadvantaged youth in America. And in that environment, we realized how powerful faith-based organizations were to reaching into neighborhoods where disadvantaged youth were really not getting the benefit of the government. And at that time, there wasn't many Hindu faith-based organizations. And so what a joy for me to talk this morning with Arun about the wonderful work that his organization is doing. Arun, welcome. I think you mentioned that you might want to kind of introduce Sewa through the work that happened at Harvey. And so if we could, let's run that video, and then we'll have Arun welcome all of us with a few moments and remarks.
Hurricane Harvey struck Texas on August 25th. It dumped trillions of gallons of water on Houston and surrounding areas. It is the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history, and it has affected 1 in 4 Houstonians. The damage is enormous, with 200,000 homes destroyed, more than 1 million vehicles wrecked, and schools, highways, and public facilities flooded. Sewa International worked hand in hand with the Coast Guard and rescued 687 people from their flooded homes and apartments.
They came to me, thank God, and rescued me. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be, because the water was coming so fast and furious. And they physically got me out, got me to a safer place upstairs, and then after the hurricane was over, they've been just enormously helping, getting everything out that we can save and throwing the bad stuff away. Just please come and help. We really, really need it. And this organization is fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Texans are tough, but they need our help now. Sewa International's 800 volunteers are busy providing relief. They have provided hot meals, cleaned flooded homes, and organized health clinics to serve the affected people. Sewa has partnered with several organizations. Our motto is together, we serve better. Sewa seeks to renovate and repair 1,000 flooded homes, building materials, and cleaning supplies. And we have to provide training to our volunteers. Our goal is to raise $1 million to support the most underserved families. Your generosity will bring a smile to many affected families. Your support will help us serve better.
Arun, welcome. I wonder if in just a few words you could share a few thoughts before we talk about how you accomplished what you accomplished during this amazing rescue operation. But just a few words about yourself and maybe about Sewa to begin.
So I'm here in USA since last 21 years. In Houston we moved in 2000, and we have seen a couple of hurricanes. And this one, nothing of this magnitude and this impact that it had on the city, as well as, I would say, on the Indo-Americans, perhaps first time to such magnitude they have been impacted by a hurricane in USA or any disaster in USA. So Sewa International is a faith-based organization and built on principles like Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, that is, let everyone be happy. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. Nara Seva Narayan Seva, that is, serving humanity is serving divinity. With these great principles, Sewa International serves everyone irrespective of any boundaries or any limitation. In the initial years, our main focus was helping India in the disaster relief or developmental projects. But last 7-8 years in USA, our main focus is helping the local community, aiding local communities, promoting volunteerism and disaster, helping in the disaster and distress. These are the three main goals of Sewa International. With 18 countries where we have the chapters of Sewa International, I shouldn't say chapters, there are organizations, and in USA we have 25 cities where we have active chapters and more than 40 cities where there is some connection. So now Sewa has a very wide network and able to connect and contribute in the local community everywhere.
Well, thank you, Arun. Seva is certainly a concept that is familiar to many Indian Americans, but to do it on the scale that your organization has undertaken is really inspirational. Could you say a little bit about when something like a hurricane of the century happens, how you came into action with your organization and how it is you were able to affect such an amazing story out of Harvey? The love, of course, that you were passing on through those rescues is what people remember, but could you tell us a little bit about the logistics? There are a lot of faith-based organizations that do community service, but disaster relief is kind of high-order work and has some risk entailed to that mission. Could you say a little bit about that or share a little bit about that, please?
If possible, can you display the slide of the impact? In fact, I must totally admit, and all of our team admits, that none of us expected that we will be able to do this much, what we were really able to do. We neither planned for it, nor we could have imagined whatever the efforts really which happened. And I am saying happened because it was not something which was pre-planned and we were able to really put everything actions together in advance for making it happen. So this was something, I must say, completely, it's a result of mission-oriented people. That is, I think, one of the focus, perhaps one of the main point I can say, that in Houston, we are there for last 8-9 years and we have good teams. But fortunately, the team completely dedicated to the mission, what they can achieve is Houston hurricane relief is a test case of this particular instance. We were able to form completely decentralized operations. Because this happened and there are a few people from Houston here, different areas were affected. Within a few hours, we were able to make the teams in different areas and able to do the rescue operation. Again, this was not planned. None of us would have thought that we will be able to do the rescue operation in disaster relief in USA. But it just happened spontaneously. The teams formed and we were able to rescue, as it is shown, more than 600 people during those first 3 days. And it was... In fact, many of us from the Sewa International in Houston, we were also struck by it. In fact, Gitesh Desai, who is our chapter president, his home on the first day was flooded 5 feet. He was out, he was operating from the hotel room. Immediately, from the first day, once he moved to the hotel, still he was on the phone and talking to the people. Our joint coordinator, Nikhil Jain, his home was also having flood water. Our coordinator, Kavita Tiwari, she was evacuated. A lot of us were out. In fact, one of us was on, she is a mission-oriented staff. She was on leave, medical-related leave. She put it aside and jumped into this thing. So this scale that it happened, I don't think that we planned and we can take the credit for it. It is really the community and organization who really put faith and trust in us because of all the work that has been done by the team in last few years, that we were able to achieve whatever these staggering figures that we are seeing today.
Arun, I want to dig a little deeper into that because I've heard MR talk about the importance of having these relationships in place. You know, in the background that I come from, we used to say you can't surge trust. You have to have established relationships. Could you share just a couple of thoughts about your ability to reach beyond kind of the traditional Indian American organizations, say temples, and how that network that you had in place really unfolded, you know, in a way that helped you achieve these things?
Sure. In fact, this is something which has unfolded in front of me, and this is a great learning for myself also. In Houston, we don't have limitation on what this is the only thing you should do. So how it evolved is a fantastic phenomenon. In fact, last few years, about 7 or 8 years, we started mainly in the Bhutanese Refugees Empowerment Program because refugees from border of Bhutan and Nepal were accepted in USA. Now there are 90,000 of them. So really with that, our work started in the local community, trying to reach out, trying to help them. But soon, those people who are working, young youth and volunteers who are engaged in it, they really soon realize that it's not really going to be sufficient just to meet the material need. And it is important because they were living in the poor neighborhoods, all the vices were definitely getting into the families. So we need to focus on the education, and we started the Aspire program. Today we have 3 apartments which we have rented in the poor neighborhoods, one in the Hispanic neighborhood, other in the other 2 immigrant neighborhoods, where we run after school classes. This became center for the school district, the Elif school district, which is perhaps one of the most diverse school district in USA. They collaborated with us because we became the facilitator between the parents and the schools. They used our facility, our apartments to come, and the counselor used to come. We also were able to put some computers so that children could learn the computers and different after-school homework also. Little children were able to help. So these efforts significantly helped in connecting with the school district, with the community, and this aspect, this is very important for Indo-Americans here, that we live here, we want to contribute here. So although definitely we help support in India as well as in Kenya, Caribbean countries, wherever the need is and where we have connection. And as Vrindan pointed out, this type of experiences, we have the YFS internship where people go and work for 2.5 months there. But now our major resources are in USA, in different cities. Houston is one example that I gave.
Well, thank you. We just have a minute left, Arun. So I think if I were to put a kind of fine point on it, the larger network that you created really was instrumental in executing this amazing rescue operation in Harvey. As we just close here, Sewa has grown from, in 2003, now almost 15 years. Do you see the next kind of 5 years or 10 years even larger operations here in the United States, or are you growing globally? I know that you've put up here how we can help if we want to contribute to Harvey, but any last thoughts for us about kind of what Sewa, the larger principles of Sewa have meant, and where you see your organization going in the future?
Promoting volunteerism is our main focus, and we have evolved many programs. But we have agreed as an organization that our flagship program will be family services, helping families in case of emergencies where their own resources are not sufficient to take care. So creating structures in communities so the community should be able to take help. That's one of the major aspects. And educational workshops, the health related aspects, all those things we do. So that is our main program in the coming years that we are planning to grow, along with contributing in the community, in the education field, connecting with the local community. That is going to continue. And if I can just add one more point here. In fact, because of this model here, already when it happened in Florida, Irma came, the temples opened their door to become the shelter. I think I'm not aware of too many temples in USA who have done this before. But because of this Houston experience and our team in Atlanta were able to reach out to the temples, this is a new thing which has happened. Another thing that has happened is, right now in Caribbean, Trinidad has become our center of help because we have an organization there. And many cities in USA, volunteers are connecting on the our network and trying to help them. So this remotely helping the need, this also has expanded in through this particular experience of disaster relief.
How about a round of applause for Arun? Thank you so much.